access level has recently increased. Excellent. Incoming message.
Welcome, agents, to episode 98 of Behind the Scanner. Our special guests tonight are Ivan Russell from Pittsburgh and Roberto Rex Martinez from Houston. Welcome to the show. Have a question for our guests? Join us during the broadcast in our live chat room on our website, behindthescanner.com, or you can submit questions through the YouTube Q&A tool. If you know someone who would make a great guest, submit their information to us at behindthescanner.com and click on Guest Suggestions. Subscribe to our channel and watch previous recordings on YouTube. For all the latest updates and news, follow us on Google+. And now, your hosts of Behind the Scanner.
Oh, George, you're muted.
Damn.
Oh, right off the start.
Yeah, that's Rick. Okay, guys, welcome to episode 98 of Behind the Scanner. Hello, Frank.
Hey,
how are you?
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm really good. A little bit overwarm, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Where are you, man?
Brooklyn. I'm in the NYC.
Preparing to
see?
normally?
Got the bridge behind me.
Yeah.
I guess it comes with a bed. I don't know. That's for another show.
Are you
Yeah, we're getting ready for anomaly time.
Rumble?
Yeah.
Great. Great. And we have tonight two great guests. Welcome, Roberto. Oh my God, that helmet is awesome. How are you, man?
I'm doing fine, and you?
Great. Nice to have you here.
Thanks, I'm glad to be here.
Hey, Ivan, how are you? Second guest.
Hey, what's going on? I'm excited to be here also.
We're excited to have you here tonight, too. So, Roberto, please, 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 show a little bit more that helmet. Awesome.
This is a clone trooper helmet. Most people, for some reason, I don't know, they mistake it for like a stormtrooper. But on the helmet basically is a sticker for every anomaly that I've ever been to. And of course, on the back are some of the stickers I have that people have given me, like Rob Ware, Wheels to the Max,
Okay.
and several others. Actually, another one here from my local resistance community that they gave me, Walter Hall Farmers Union. So it's becoming a collection of stickers.
It is really cool. But let's kick things off by learning some basics about you guys. So let's go with Ivan first. How did you discover Ingress, man?
Well, I had a couple friends from Google+, and so this was way, way, way back. This is like original, like November of 2012, and nobody knew what was going on. And so, like, my one buddy, he's like, yeah, there's this game, and you, like, go around this and that and whatnot, and nobody knew anything. And there was, like, no groups, nothing. And so it was really fascinating because, like, I didn't know what would happen if you ran out of XM, you know. So I thought you might die. Like, okay, that's it. You're done with your account. And, you know, so it was kind of interesting back in those days, you know, where everything was kind of forming. And I think that hopefully Pokemon Go has a little bit better start community-wise because, you know, a lot of those relationships between communities and areas are already built. And so it was fun back in those days.
Are you playing Pokemon?
I am. I've never played Pokemon, never watched it, so I'm kind of new at everything. Kind kind of got my rear end handed to me when I was at the gym. So I was trying to figure out how it worked, and all my Pokemon are gone. But it seems like it'll be fun.
Yeah, and talking about those communities, well, there are going to be like a lot of new people, really young people, I guess. So it's gonna be like starting again, don't you think?
I don't know. I think even though it's a different crowd, I think that there's a lot of things that people do that are the same, similar, kind of going out and kind of exploring, and kind of the whole nature of Ingress is get off your couch. And so I think somebody who's willing to do that, either for Ingress or Pokemon Go, probably similar personalities, interests, and things. It'll be different, but I think there's a lot of parallels, and I think it'll be successful.
Yeah, I think so also. But, well, and getting back to Ingress, did you know about the story before you opened your scanner, or it was like when you start playing, you start knowing that something happens in the background?
Well, there was rumors about a phone that wouldn't shut off, and so we're trying to look on YouTube, figuring out stuff. And there's this mysterious Tycho, so like nobody really knew. We didn't know if it was a movie promo or anything. And I guess the scanner was already out, and so eventually they started the artwork thing where you have to send something in.
Oh yeah.
To get an invite. And so 100 years ago in Ingress years, did that, and had Joe Philly send me an invite. I did a animated GIF. It was Brandon Badger, and it was the anagram, and I think it was one drab bong. And so he replied back, ha ha ha, or whatever, something like that. And so that's how I got my invite.
That I don't remember seeing that GIF, but well, I remember that folks when you were inviting people to the game, doing some artwork. Did you get into that, Roberto? Oh, you mute yourself.
Okay, I'm unmuted. Okay, actually, no, it kind of was by accident, in all honesty. The date is actually pretty memorable because it's actually my brother's birth date. It's September 21st, 2014. I was bored. Just was bored, and someone told me, hey, there's a bunch of apps that Google has just like released, and I was like, oh, okay, let me check them out. So at that time, I had an iPhone, and I downloaded every single app that they had, and some of them were like, okay, that's not for me, delete. That's not for me, delete. I open up Ingress. And the first voice I hear is Ada, and she says, you have downloaded what you believe was a game. And I'm like, oh, crap, virus. So I turn off my phone, and I put it to the side. I'm like, crap, I got a virus on my phone. Dang it. So I went online. I'm like, how do I take out the Ingress virus out of my computer? And apparently it's a game. I was like, oh, okay, it's a game. All right, well, now let me just turn on my phone now. So that's basically how it was. All an accident, finding out about the game from thinking it was actually a virus. So that's how it started, pretty much.
That's a cool story. I remember, or this remembers me, that when I start playing Ingress, I look at the com, and I thought that was just like graphics, like something built in to give some dynamic to the interface or something like that. I didn't realize in the first moments, or maybe the first 2 or 3 days, that those were people typing to each other. So it was kind of confusing. What about you, Frank? How did you get into the Ingress game?
I just stumbled upon it. I was reading some blog post or something, and I stumbled upon it, and I thought it'd be cool, and I submitted one of those requests to get added, and it came across really quick, like within a week. And it was, but I had the same problem where I didn't really know kind of what I was doing. So at first I saw these little white things scattered around, and the tutorial back then wasn't very good. Basically just taught you how to kind of navigate around, but it didn't really tell you how to do anything. And I remember I went up to a portal, and I was blasting it with my level 1 bursters, which, like, I mean, I'm sure they're still the same way now. But back then, they were like completely, utterly worthless. And I was like, nothing's happening. It says to fire these things, and nothing's happening. And I think I went to like 20, and I think the portal changed like 1%, like it was stupid. And
oh well, at least it wasn't a gray portal.
Yeah, that's true. No, it was actually a green portal, and it was like, it moved like 1%, and it was, I gave up. I honestly didn't pick up the game for like 4 days. I was like, I don't get it. I'm out. And then someone from the community reached out later on and showed me that I was just a little too young in my Ingress game to do anything yet. Taught me the ways.
Sure.
So, anyways, it's not really about us. So back to Rex. Rex, you served in the U.S. Army, right? And so,
Yeah.
First of all, like, thank you for your service and doing that. What was your job in the Army?
I was a 74 Delta. My job was basically I was a chemical, biological, radioactive nuclear specialist. My basic training. Yeah, it's a long title.
It's a long title, but it's also insane. Like, wait, what?
Classified.
Right.
My basic was at Fort Leonard Wood, and then went off from there. Pretty fun times. It's a good way to start off. Well, it was a good way for me to start off my way. Most people are like, oh, I'm going to go to college after that. And me personally, I was like, I want to travel. I want to do something with myself first. So coming from a military family where, everyone's military, especially your uncle's cat, whatever,
Wow. So it's kind of in your blood. You were just kind of following. Yeah.
Basically. So, I mean, my uncle's a Marine Corps sniper. My mother, basically everyone's in my family was kind of heavily military. And so they're like, this would be the best thing for you. And what they're really telling you is, you got to do it.
Yeah. Do it or leave.
Pretty much.
Very cool. Is there anything you can tell us about that job? Because I'm seriously intrigued. Like, the way you make it sound like you're like Jack Bauer.
No, I mean, I will tell you, I'm not going to say I did it, but I'll tell you that there were some people that, I would say the most recruits, whenever and I think Ivan can speak to that because he had to do it when he was in basic, I believe. Most recruits, when they go into the Army, they have to go through what's called the gas chamber. There would be some assholes who would throw the pill, and you would basically be in the gas chamber with the gas mask on. That's one of the things that we had to do and train how to train people coming into the Army. This is what's going to happen if you're in a gas attack. Gas. And we're mostly hated for that.
I can see Ivan motioning over there on the other screen.
He's like, I hate you.
Yeah, Ivan. So, I mean, and I can see you motioning because you can relate to the story because you also spent some time in the U.S. Army, so thank you for your service as well. So tell us a bit about the job that you had while you were serving, and where were you stationed?
I was a generator mechanic. I was stationed in Baumholder, Germany, which I think Baumholder is a German word for middle of nowhere. I mean, it really is. There's a lot of really cool places in Germany. Baumholder's, it's okay, but yeah. And then after I got off active duty for 4 years, I became a broadcast journalist and then a print journalist. So kind of a whole bunch of different jobs.
Oh, so you should be right at home then, huh?
A little bit.
Feeling it out?
Yeah, it gets rusty after a while.
What kind of stories did you write about while you were on duty?
I didn't actually really write too many things. I was kind of the nerd, so it ended up that anytime like we got deployed to Bosnia, and so I was in charge of the Task Force Eagle website, and it kind of needed an overhaul. It had like a real 1993 feel,
Oh yeah.
So I kind of wiped that, and then I digitized like all the Talon is the magazine that they put out weekly, and so made PDFs of that, and kind of just sorted it out so that people back home could see what their soldiers and service members were doing. And so I did a lot of that. Did a lot of helping with editing video, kind of a lot of that stuff. So more nerd behind the scenes things, putting some promos and things together. And then whenever I was back here, did a lot of retirement videos for when generals retired, pictures, and it's pretty easy stuff, but for some other people, they're like, get Ivan to do it.
So Ivan, you are like very creative. So there's something that I need to know. Why don't you tell us about what do you know about some agents being able to see things in other dimensions? Do you know what I'm talking about? How did
I do.
that story come about?
So our local community, Ingress, it's centered around mostly Pittsburgh and the surrounding areas. And so there's a lot of things that tie into Ingress lore. There's the McKees Rocks Mound, and it's like super, super crazy old. I don't even know how old, but it's prehistoric. There's also some interesting things. There was an airplane disappeared into the Monongahela River. The government came, supposedly spirited away a bell, which was allegedly, Hitler's Nazi bell for time travel.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of this weird kind of stuff. Also, Westinghouse Atom Smasher is there, first atom smasher in the world. So I don't know that how this all fits in together or whatnot, but we've detected things around Carnegie Mellon University, and there's an agent, and you've probably seen her stuff online, Subby, and we have a post. Actually, I think she was going to post something soon, but there's technology that is being developed at Carnegie Mellon that allows you to see, and we haven't really explored it all. We know that you can see different things. So there's a lot of portals around, and there's an example of kind of what you can see. And so you can see in the past, which we're kind of intrigued by. And I don't know, is there a place to put a link for everyone?
Oh, well, if you type it on our chat, maybe Carter or Jesse can post it on the chat room. So if everyone wants to see this link, go to the chat room.
But there's a lot of this stuff where it's ready for the next dimension, literally. So instead of flat two-dimensional investigations of portals, we're now able to see more of them using this technology and the viewer. And luckily, the viewer is compatible with the scanner hardware.
Wow.
So it's kind of interesting. So there's kind of this, I don't want to call it a story, but it's kind of developing, and I would say be on the lookout for it.
Well, it sounds very interesting, and I don't know, a little bit complex. Who's developing this?
There's very strange people walking around Carnegie Mellon University. I'm not talking about the students, the freshmen, they're dweebs and everything, but we're talking about there's just strange individuals, people that are wearing like suits to work.
Okay.
It's like, so there's a lot of activity around there.
Those guys in their suits, man, they're all a bunch of weirdos.
Well, indeed, but you'd think that they would try to hide their tracks a little bit, but we're on them, and when we get information, we will share it with the greater Ingress community.
Okay, Roberto. Sorry, Rex. Oh my God. What do you think about this? You are a book lover, so have you? Well, which is your kind of book that you like? Science fiction? What?
Actually, you hit it spot on right on the nose. I'm such a huge sci-fi book lover. I think that's the majority of my library, if anything. Um, I guess it's more like a window into what could be in the future. And I think like the biggest ones I've loved was a series called Uglies, Pretties, Specials, and Extras. Uh, Anything Star Wars related that kind of always piques my interest, and of course I'm a Star Wars nerd, so that's always gonna get me on that one. But yes, sci-fi is basically one of my top favorite ones. I'm always looking for suggestions. There's always I'm told there's hundreds and thousands of books printed every year when it comes to sci-fi, and I'm always looking for something good to read. So if anyone has like good suggestions, I'm open to all of them.
So, which is your favorite Star Wars novel?
My favorite one was actually I forgot the author's name, but it was actually Order 66.
Okay.
And a reason being is I just find it really, I guess, crazy that the very military that was created for the Jedi ended up betraying the Jedi, and it was, this entire order, the Jedi Order, has been around for thousands and thousands of years, and me being a huge clone trooper lover, I'm like, oh, I don't like the Jedi anyway. They're too pacifist for my nature.
Okay. And what are you reading right now?
Currently, right now, you wouldn't believe it. I'm actually trying to catch up on the backstory of Ingress. So I'm on book 3 of the Ingress novels. So I'm reading those. I still have like 2 more to go, and I'm really trying to get into the backstory. And that's one of the reasons I actually watch Behind the Scanners, because I'm reading from the start. I don't want to miss what's going on currently, so it kind of like catches me up. So I'm reading the past, and then I'm also listening to what's going on in the future. So yeah, that's what I'm reading currently at the moment.
Okay. Well, talking about backstories, what about where's my burritos? What about that hashtag?
But the burrito oh gosh, dang it! Thought that was gonna escape you guys.
No.
Okay. It kind of started off. I was getting ready to go to Anomaly, and it was for the Nashville Anomaly for Abaddon, and I was going with a group of friends. And the area that I live in is a majority Hispanic area. And so for some reason, they said, the people I was going with, they said, Rex, you should make us some burritos. And I said, no, I don't think I have time to make burritos. And they're like, well, yes, you can. You're Hispanic. You can make them. And I said, nope, not doing it.
Yeah, that's how that works.
That really is not how it works. So on the road to Nashville, by the way, that's like 3 days, two and a half days to get there. I kept getting bugged by everyone. They're saying, hey, if we lose the Anomaly, it's because of your fault because you didn't bring burritos. So the rumors spread from that people in that van to people out in the Anomaly to the barcode. So now wherever I go, especially in my own community, everyone's like, where's my burritos? Rex, where's my burritos? It's gotten to the point where people have tricked me to going to Freebirds after Ingress for Saturday. So they'll trick me and say, we're going here, and instead we're going to Freebirds, which is actually a burrito venue place where they're specialized in that. And they literally will have 20 cameras on me waiting for me to take a bite out of a burrito. So if you see those pictures around after this event, after this broadcast, you'll see why. and now it's like I should have brought those burritos. Yeah.
Well, I gotta say it now. Where's my burrito?
Ah.
I mean, come on, man.
No burrito for you.
These burrito requests are going to start stacking up, dude. You're going to have like a burrito truck pretty soon.
Probably at San Diego, I might have to like hijack a burrito truck or something.
Yep. Nice. So for everyone watching, don't forget you can interact with us at behindthescanner.com. Just go ahead and the chat icon in the upper right side of the navigation there and join the conversation. I'm already in there having some fun with some of the guys that are also here on the show, so jump on in. The water's fine. So getting back to our guests, agents, we'd like to hear about your home turf. Tell us about the community in your area. How are cross-faction events, and what local portals are your favorites? Start with you, Ivan.
Our cross-faction community, we've been doing pretty good. We've had first Saturday every first Saturday since its inception, and I got the first Saturday shirt, and I mean it's super awesome because there's always a different group of agents, and we try all kinds of neat things. And so, at one of them, one of my favorite portals ever is called Port Hole, and I don't know why. It's cool. It's like this big, huge industrial kind of like a generator kind of. Well, if you go and look up on your scanners in Pittsburgh, there's, well, I'll dig out the link for it, but it's really magnificent, and it was there that I was sharded for a first Saturday event, and so you know, they was stuck. You know, there's pieces of me going everywhere and whatnot, and so that day was actually pretty fun because what we we were like fighting over who gets control of me. So, you know, ended up that the resistance got to keep me, so I didn't have to do a faction change or anything like that. Right now, we actually have some plans. We're trying to plan some kind of different things, just to kind of show people that, like, we're not enemies. And it really takes two halves to make this whole game. And you know, there's a lot of people doing a lot of things out there, but we're opponents. And so, like, if you're playing Monopoly with your aunt and uncle, you're not like, "Ah, rah, 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 rah," you know, like just being jerks about stuff. But when it's all said and done, you end up drinking a beer, doing whatever, and that's kind of why we're trying to, you know, stress that this game's about people. It's not about portals. Owning a portal is really just kind of it's this concept that, like, once you get over that, then you can begin to win the game and go on this journey. And the journey is certainly out of the basement, off the couch. You know, get out there and do things. Go Ruck. Kind of a whole lot of things. And none of it really involves any other agent, but it does, and that's what makes this game great, because it's so collaborative. You know, and I think that's why it's still going on, because of that magic, where you need 8 people to make a level 8 portal, but you only really need 2 agents to have fun. You can also have fun by yourself, you know, but I think ultimately it's a social game. But in Pittsburgh, you know, we've done all kinds of great things, and so, like, I know now we're trying to figure out something to do, like Kids Gress. You know, everything from, like, you know, little kids, you know, so parents could talk, say, hey, you know, like, my kid's doing this or that or whatever, without really worrying about the scanner. If there's a portal nearby and you get to hack it a bunch of times, great, but you know, it's really about the interactions between the people, and I think for the most part, 99% of agents worldwide are great. You know, you got a few bad apples, but I think the good agents out there really, really, truly outshine everyone else. I've seen, you know, cross-faction stuff where people are helping, you know, find jobs, you know, getting people rides to events. It's just really kind of amazing, you know, how things work.
Absolutely, absolutely. Rex, how about you? What have you? What are your favorite portals or your experience with cross faction events in your area?
Cross-faction events in my area are actually, I think, one of my favorite parts to do when it comes to playing Ingress. I do a lot of the Ingress for Saturdays here, and it's really the best time I could say when I could literally just sit down, because most of the time I'm organizing them. So I sit down with my co-hosts and I'll talk with them. I'll enjoy having the company and the conversations with them. And most of the times we don't even have our scanners on. We have them off. And if we are having our scanners on, right after the event, we'll talk. I think the problem currently that many communities or many organizers are having is there's so many people who actually want to do these events, and they want to have cross-faction relationships. They want to, not have this entire kill blue, make green mentality the entire time they're playing Ingress. They just want to sit down, relax, and have a beer, or 2, or 10. But some communities kind of shy away from it for many reasons, and I understand. And in my opinion, and this is because I've tried to ally myself with many of these great organizations like Cross Faction CC, Ingress for Saturdays. Some of these things are essential to realize that Ingress is a social platform, and it's not just I'm green and you're blue and I hate you. No, it's about making a new friend. And I even call the majority of people I know in Ingress, I call them my family. For goodness sake, my 21st birthday actually was was the only birthday party I've ever had, like a party. And I was able to celebrate it with my Ingress family. And these friendships, no matter what new game comes out, Pokemon Go or whatever, they're going to stay there for life. And I encourage a lot of people to pursue cross-faction events as much as possible.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think the relationships go much deeper than just the game. I kind of feel like the game is more of a mechanism for the relationships and for the entertainment that happens, between meeting people both on your faction and the opposing faction. So, any favorite portals?
Favorite portals? There is one, but it's not here in Houston. I haven't had the chance to actually visit it, but I want to plan on doing it very soon. There is a portal that it has my grandfather. It's my grandfather. He was a veteran, and I found out his actual portal is his tombstone is actually a portal. And my wish would be to one day probably go out there myself and to claim it and to give him his honors if possible. So that is my wish. Local portal that I like here. God, it would be kind of unfair to say I had a favorite one here in Houston. I actually like all of them. So if it has to be, I would say a set of portals would be a farm that I go to in the Galleria area, which is where I got my start, and it's where my mentor, Agent Elstress, taught me how to play the game. So it would be that huge group of portals in that area.
Okay, so those portals have your heart forever because you find a family because of them.
Yes.
Well, Rex, let's continue with you. Looking back to your early days of Ingress, how was your style of playing back then in those few portals or whatever?
Well, when I started, there was already a ton of portals. I came into the game rather late. It was around 2014. I'm guessing, I could be wrong. Someone correct me. It was 2013 when the game started, I guess. No?
2012.
Oh, was it? See, I came in late. When I started, I had a bike, And so when I finally got, like, someone told me about, when I got into the game, I was always on my bike trying to get to the next portal, and I was doing it like, go, 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 let me get this other portals. Now it's changed from being like very hardcore to casual at the moment. And currently at the moment, there's a joke around my community right now where they're like, do you even Ingress? And the reason for that is my job right now is kind of like a 10 to 7 thing, and by the time I get out of work, I'm exhausted. But during the weekends, that's when I'm more active and out there. So yeah, I guess it's gone from hardcore to casual.
Yeah, I'm used to hear that about me too as well. Yeah. Ivan, what about your early days in English? How were like?
It was all a mystery. It really, really was. Like I said earlier, I just didn't know, like, if you run out of XM, what happens. But back then we had, I don't know, maybe 50 portals in the whole cell, post offices, libraries. I think it was Thursdays, or yeah, I think Thursdays they added new ones. The scanner would just stop working and whatnot. But I kind of was obsessive. I still am. I'm not even going to lie. And so back then, you know, really we just were kind of like always looking for new portals, you know, trying to figure out what was going to happen, what are the new mods coming out, like, you know, what are the new changes in the scanner. And so back then, you didn't get AP for hacking or any of that stuff, and so there was kind of an AP drought if you were Resistance in Pittsburgh, and I ended up going up to Cleveland to make level 8. I needed like 100,000 AP or something, which was a pretty sizable amount back then, and you know, went up there, ran into some Cleveland folks who we ended up making L8 portals, you know, further down the road a couple months once we had enough L8 players. You know, it's kind of the seeds of kind of this, you know, great relationship between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. I mean, who knew? Like, how is that possible? It's possible through Ingress. But, you know, so I've kind of always focused on trying to build a community of players, because the bigger the community of players, the more likely you are to win. And that was kind of the thing back then, is we wanted to wipe, you know, everything out and make it all blue. That's really not winning now.
Yeah.
You know, and so like I've learned that's like years ago we've learned that. Winning is when you go out and have fun. And I tell agents in our group, Sparrow, Southwest Pennsylvania area, Resistance Ops, have fun. If you're not having fun, put the scanner down, ask somebody else, you know, like for some input, like, you know, instead of trying to blow everything up, maybe go out and take portal picks, you know, for a couple days or whatever. You just really have to kind of reinvent yourself, you know, and so like I just recently made 16. That is a huge, huge, huge accomplishment, not for me, but for the community, because I couldn't do it without the Resistance, and I couldn't do it without the Enlightened, you know, and it really, you know, it's a synergy between the factions, you know, that makes it fun. And if it wasn't fun, I would put the scanner down a long, long time ago. But it continues to amaze me all the time, the different things that I see. And, you know, just the other day, there's a portal by where I work, and it's a log cabin. So I looked it up online. I'm like, you know, like, who are these people? I want to look inside, this and that. And so I'm driving into work the other day, and they're like, hey, you know, there's people there. And I'm like, so I stop. I'm like, hey, I'll work right over there. And as it turned out, there was an Eagle Scout there, and it's his project. And so in order to open it up, they have to have the docents, or the folks that say, well, this is this, you know, the guides. And so he made a video and whatnot, and so I used my my 360 camera to take some spherical photos for him, and he was just amazed. He's like, oh, like, you know, can I use these? I'm like, sure, you know, because I would have never have cared to go in there, except I've driven past it, you know, hundreds of times, hack, walking, between the buildings at work, hack. But like now that I made 16, I really have the opportunity to kind of not worry about getting AP. I don't need that extra link or field or any of that stuff. And so I'm going to really try to focus on helping newer agents and exploring portals, to figure out what they're all about. The whole Ingress community, to figure out, like, where does the Westinghouse Atom Smasher fit into all of this? Was that the signal for the Shapers to come back, or there's just so much possibility out there.
So that's the next phase for you, huh? That's the next phase for you, is getting a little bit deeper in the story, a little bit deeper in the community.
It's fun. It's super, super fun. Really looking at portals and figuring out, okay, what is this all about? Because these things are everywhere. And now I'm sure we all know it. Oh, there's a portal, there's a portal, there's a portal. That should be a portal. That should be a portal.
Yeah.
And so like after you play the game, it changes you. I can't just walk past a plaque and
right.
not read it and see what it says.
You can almost tell that's going to be a portal when you see something now. You walk on the street.
Yeah.
I bet
it's
that's
an
a portal.
ABC fire extinguisher or something. You're like, oh darn it, that's not a portal.
Yeah.
So you can say that your role in Ingress, or your evolution in Ingress is like finding different aspects of the game every time in a while. Yeah,
well, I think that the race to 8 is it's driven by AP, and so you're always like length field destroyed, and a lot of times you're missing kind of the bigger picture. You're still getting out, still seeing things, and there's those portals that are like big in your face, and you're hacking it. And you're like, wow. But after a while, I think you start to really catch the nuances of what makes a portal a portal. And so, everyone's seen portals that just aren't portals, and there's portals that, they're portals, but they aren't in the network yet. And, and I kind of laugh because down the road from where I live, there's a restroom. It's made out of cinder blocks, and it has a funding plaque on it. And I submitted it. Dormont Park restroom funding plaque. And at the time I thought it was kind of like a jokey portal or whatever, but it's not, because those people that funded that want people to read that portal, the plaque on the portal. And so, at the time I submitted it years ago, I was like, and I figured they would just deny it, but, the proverbial portal monkeys, they knew better, at least on that one. And
yeah.
so it went through, and, it's an actual legit portal. And I'm sure there's people who are watching this, you're like, oh, he is insane. But you know what? Really take a look at it. Take a look at a lot of the things that you're like, well, that's not really a portal. But they're like in the 50s, there's all these plaques around on these bridges in Pittsburgh, which there's tons of them.
Yeah, I think they're all dedicated to someone, right?
Yeah, and each one of these plaques is a story. So like even if you take 30 seconds and read it, people back then who made that, you're kind of validating their work, their pride, their craftsmanship. Half the bridges in Pittsburgh are crumbling and get ready to fall down. But
nonetheless, these are people that made a difference in either locally or nationally, right? And so they have a story and a reason for the plaques to exist. And like you said, it's definitely worth looking at and acknowledging the fact that some great people might have come before you, and the bridge is not just a bridge.
Exactly. It goes to everything around you is not what it seems.
Right.
Keep looking around. Keep your eyes open. Because even if you see something, you're like, oh, that should be a portal. Go walk over to it. Spend 30 seconds looking at it, because you might not be able to get back there again.
Well, speaking of paying attention and using your eyes, it's going to be that time of the show where we do the code of the show. This time it's going to be our buddy George throwing the code out there because Andrew's too busy with his big shot stuff now for us. I kid. I love you, man. I love you, man. So check out the code of the show. Get that down as quickly as you can. I can't see it on my end, so I can't read it out to you this time like I did last time, so you're just going to have to multitask, folks.
Can you see it?
I can see it on the screen. I just have everybody else's screens blocking it. I have all the little boxes.
Yeah, I know. I know. What is the problem with Hangout? If somebody can tell us how to fix the lower third thing, it would be great.
Looks like some people can't see it, they're saying. Looks like it's getting cut off, George. So maybe maybe read it out. There's only one code and it's half of it. There you go. Okay, here we go.
That's better?
Yep, that's better.
Oh,
Hope you guys can see that. And this I can read out to you. 2RYD 9 NOWQ 8S 3V. Get that one in there. It's probably going to be gone now. But the second one, 6QTM 9 TRANSPOSEC 8N6B.
That's right, man.
That's a long one. Oh my gosh. Right. Well, hopefully you guys got some goodies. Post in the chat. I want to see what you got. If not, we'll hunt down Red Solo Cup and we'll give him some. We'll give him some. I'm gonna see him actually in like about half an hour or so. I'll tell him to step up his game. So, let's see, where are we at? Next question. Everyone got their codes? Good. Rex, you've been quiet over there, man. What's going on?
Oh, I just don't want to make noise.
Just quiet as a church mouse, hanging out in the corner.
Because if I make noise while you're putting out the code of the day, I know I'm gonna have a bunch of people on my butt over here. No, I'd rather not.
Can you tell us what it was like being part of the Order of the Link Amp?
Well, I mean, I can tell you for what does happen over here in my community. In Houston, we actually have like a little room, I guess you could say, and we just call it the Order of the Link Amp. And the majority of the time, go ahead.
Do you guys wear special hats? What do you do? Do you guys have like a handshake? Because I'm like having like a total like Fred Flintstone moment here.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. We have a handshake. We have an eye analyzer.
Yes.
The minimum requirement to be in our club, you have to have at least 200 link amps. If not, you got to go. If you're a real follower of the order, and our community, you have to have at least 100 link amps or so in your MUFG, so you have to be constantly doing that. If that was really true, then I'll probably get kicked out of my community for sure. But no, I mean, I guess what's funny is I find it really funny is even though most people see it as one of the most useless mods out there, I find it hilarious because you put one link amp on a portal and people are like, for some reason people are saying hashtag damn it Rex, why did you put a freaking link amp on that portal? And I'm just like,
it's kind of become like portal spam, huh?
Pretty much. I think. Oh wow.
There you go. You need to put the camera back on. Why are you hiding that? Okay, never mind. Ivan wants to keep that one a secret for now.
Ivan wants to keep that one a secret. But I don't know. It's not really it's not really that much of a secret. Everyone knows about it. What I like, and it's hilarious because the reaction that people make whenever you put it, especially when it's me doing it.
Yeah. There's
another hashtag which I'm glad. Well, I'll just bring it up right now. Whatever. It's hashtag dammit_Rex. So whenever I put a link amp or I mess something up, it's all on comms, and both factions do it. So yeah, there's that. It's almost a matter of time before like another freaking hashtag happens. So I'm just counting down.
Yeah, my favorite is when I drop link amps on a portal and all of a sudden it must be an op. It must be a critical portal. No, man, I just have 200 of them. Leave me alone.
Someone made a joke in our room, and it was, I think I told someone, or maybe someone told me, and they were like, it was like a Star Wars reference. You need a teacher. I can show you the way with link amps.
The answer is in the link amp.
The answer is in the link amp.
That's right.
I agree. I totally agree with her.
we should have like a little link amp, a cross-faction link amp party, and we can do like a link amp bonfire. We can just all drop them in this giant like mass circle, and just have like an on the map kind of link amp bonfire.
Well, funny that you mentioned that. Actually, that's not a bad idea now. But
you're first.
An agent of mine, an agent that I truly love. Her name is Lima Seaweed, and she does all these awesome artwork. She was glass. She does a lot of artwork with glass, and so she went out of her way, bless her, and she made me a link amp glass pin.
Wow.
And it was I think it's in my.
You have to have it. You can't say something like that and then not show it.
Well,
Yeah.
it's in my special box of treasured swag. Now, one that no one will ever get to have. So it's in there, and I keep it safe because it is made out of glass. But for everything else, so whenever I go to events, I will have that wearing it loud and proud, link amp. So that's what's gonna happen. So yeah, I now need to think about having a fire camp link amp party.
I'm telling you, we got something here. We can talk about this later offline. We got something here.
We have something.
Nice.
Yeah.
You can get that camera on Ivan something quick. He's rocking the shirt right now.
Oh my god.
Nice. So Ivan, you have your thing too. I heard that you recently completed a Go Ruck, and tell us about that challenge. You know, how did you train for it, or did you train for it?
I didn't.
You didn't. Okay. Just all in, no training. Do it.
Well, I really believe that my training in the military really prepared me for that, because it's like 2% physical. There's obviously folks that shouldn't do it, but it's really about getting out and just saying, you know what, it's going to be pain, it's going to be stupidity, this and that, but like, let's just do it. And that's kind of what I did. I did the first Go Ruck Ingress event in DC. Glad I did it. It was super, super fun. Carrying around people's backpacks. And you're like, just struggling. But I have a 2-year-old, and so I carry her around a lot, and that's.
I gotta read this out loud. Sorry, I didn't cut you off, but you have a fan club in the chat room, apparently, and one of them, and he just said, or he or she just said, that you don't train for the Go Ruck. The Go Ruck trains for you.
Oh my god.
I guess you're like the faction Chuck Norris now or something.
Who knows? You just have to do it. I mean, and I, before they had the Go Ruck training missions, I tried to make one, and I called it Go Ruck training mission. Denied. So I was like, what can I call this? I called it all kinds of different things, and then it ended up just being Ruck around the rivers. Because I tried Go Ruck yourself, and kind of all this silly stuff. But I did go with Agent Will Rogers, who, that dude's a trooper. We ended up going, and well, actually, Mr. Rogers is his agent name. And so we get down to the start point, and he's like, "Oh, I got my phone, this and that," and like, "Let me turn it on." Nothing. Didn't turn on because it was 0% charged. So we couldn't get it charged, but we did like 4 or 5 miles, something like that, around the Three Rivers and the Pittsburgh point, and didn't even get a mission badge for it. He ended up doing that later. He also did the 2 Go Ruck training missions that we submitted, the the 5K, which was my idea. Simple, easy. Walk up the river, walk back down. Him, not so much. Even though I submitted it, it ended up start at the point, walk up the wrong way on a one-way street, walk down, all in downtown Pittsburgh, 10 kilometers, in a 2-kilometer area. You're back and forth, up and down. But it's fun, and that's really what all of this is about. Go Ruck by itself, it's about fun. A little bit different kind of fun, but it's fun nonetheless. Ingress, it's supposed to be fun. Make it fun. It is fun. Ingress and Go Ruck together, it's double the fun.
Wow. Well, guys, it's time in this show to go to the audience questions. Are you ready for that? Yeah? Okay, well, this is for ready or not, here we go. So, for both, what's your most fondest Ingress memory? Let's go for Rex first.
Oh wow, fondest Ingress memory. Holy crap! You know what? I know what it is. I already know what it is. My fondest Ingress memory was Agent Kelzapan decided to throw me a party for my 21st birthday, and I was just expecting it to be, just a get together with a couple of friends and whatnot. Turns out, the party was actually going to be moved to a local Smurf hotspot, plus a lot of frogs go there too. It's called Moon Tower Inn. And I saw a ton of agents there, both blue and green. And they were all there drinking with me, and or trying to get me drunk, one of those two. But it was one of the most fondest memory because, like I said, I treat Ingress, everyone in Ingress, as family. I become close to them. I love each and every one of them. This has been one of the biggest families I could say I adopted, for me, because they're all different. It's a huge hodgepodge diversity group, and just being there with these agents, celebrating my 21st birthday, being able to share my birthday with them, and them able to share it with me, was my fondest memory. So I might have shed a couple of tears. You don't know. It was probably dirt in my eyes. But yeah.
It's a really cool and beautiful memory, man. What about you, Ivan?
It's countless. I was just trying to think of some of them. One of my favorite memories, and it was hilarious. This is way back, early 2013. There was an agent who was driving a zip car, Shane Kunkel, and Nezrel is his agent name now, but so he used to be S. Kunkel, so we always called him Skunkle, and so he's out driving, he's enlightened, a good guy, and he's like, in comms, he's like, my car's stolen, and his laptop was in the back, and we're like, oh man, that is terrible, and so we ended up tracking him down and whatnot, and as it turns out, I guess the way zip cars work, you just need to be near it with your card. And so he had parked where somebody had reserved a car. He got his laptop back and everything. And, it's really stories like that you just have to laugh. You're like, but it's always, all the time, fun stuff.
Well, let's go with the fun, Ivan. I don't know her name or his name, but he's asking, how does you get? What is your level 8 must-have Ingress skill set?
I'm not sure yet. I think the power to mystify people.
Okay. Okay, and what about you, Rex? Which level are you? You are 16?
I'm 13.
13. And what is your must-have skill, English skill set?
Well, for me, I guess it would be to have a social attitude. It's important, I guess, to be at least some part social. Get out of the cars, say hi to an agent if possible, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, being social.
Okay, I know which is your Ingress skill set. To have a lot of T-shirts, man.
I only have one.
Well, it's
One magic T-shirt.
See, and this
it
is
has
what I'm
been like
talking about. The ability to mystify. I've been wearing one shirt. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, if you guys hadn't noticed, it has been like a catwalk of T-shirts in this show on Ivan's side. Well, there's another question for Rex. Would you rather serve Picard or Kirk? Damn.
Wait, what?
Would you rather serve Picard or Kirk?
I have no idea what that is. I'm
Totally
You're
Star Wars
saying,
fan.
would you rather serve as Picard or Kirk?
I go with Picard. I'm
Why
guessing
that?
that's huh?
Why's that?
To be very honest, I'm not much of a Trekkie person. I've tried. I really have. I'm gonna get a bunch of hate from Star Trek fans. I'm sorry.
Incoming.
But the reason I'm picking Picard is because there is an agent in our community, and her name is the Picard. So I'm gonna pick Picard because of that agent.
I think it was a tricky question.
It was. It was a
Ivan,
bug, wasn't it?
Ivan, how does you get the nickname Ivan Bin Laden? Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. What?
Again,
Yeah.
the power to mystify. There are certain circles that believe things that, like I'm the #2 guardian hunter in the world. Like all this just crazy, preposterous stuff that I've paid people $3,000 to switch sides and whatnot. And so one of them, I'm not sure who, but it's the name they came up with, and I think it's actually quite funny. But what can you do?
What can you do?
Well, let's go with the last question, and it is also for you, Ivan. How do I use Resroot to find a partner?
You get access, you become a trusted user, and you just have to get out and use it. It's a great, wonderful tool. Luckily I met my wife before that came out, but the world is yours. Get access, and you'll be matched up in no time. Make sure you don't lie, don't swipe left, or any of that other stuff. Use it properly.
I thought you were going to say like ask for access, become a user, and then install Iago on your.
Does anybody use that anymore?
Oh, maybe okay. I was going to say the frogs, but I don't know.
It's Resmo or nothing.
Nice. Well, guys, I hate to say it. I mean, it's been a really good show, and it seems the time went by really fast. But it's time. It's time for that BTS tradition. For better or worse, we give every guest at the end of their interview 60 seconds to talk about whatever they want, give a shout out to whoever they want. So, whenever you're ready, Ivan, let's start with you. 60 seconds on the clock.
I'd really like to thank everybody, from just all the people that work at Niantic, all the people that play the game. Sparrow, you guys are awesome. I wouldn't be doing this without you guys. Stay strong, have fun, fun. And especially I want to thank my wife and my kids for tolerating all my silly stuff. Get out there, explore the world, and just really, really just see what these portals are about, and don't believe the hype.
Well, Rex, it's your time, man. So, shout out to whoever you want.
First, I want to thank Behind the Scanner. You guys are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. I want to thank the mothers of him. Guys, I know you put up with me a lot, so thank you. I want to thank him, UHEM, the Houston Resistance. Guys, you rock. Thanks for playing fair. Oh man, my best buddies in the game, Maki Aron and Zero Aron, to some of my great friends in the Resistance. That would be No One of Consequences. Leanne, I know you're out there. I know you're also listening. Lark Song. Gosh. Oh, the A-Team. You can't go wrong without the A-Team. They know who they are as well. God, I want to say final message is to all the organizers out there conducting English for Saturday events, continue doing it, no matter the criticism, no matter the backlash. Do it because you want to do it, and it's because you want to have fun. It's pretty much it. To all my communities within the Houston area, within Texas, and all around the world, stay strong, play hard, and play fair. So, yeah.
Thank you, Rex. Ivan, thank you very much for being with us tonight.
Yep. Thanks, guys. And don't forget, join us next week, and happy hacking.
Sweet.
Happy hacking, guys.
I need to go hack a portal now.
Yes, right? I'm kind of itching to go out right now. I'm like, I need to go get food, that's for sure. And then
I already lost my sojourner.
Wow, there's my jam.
This looks great.
I'm so glad that they don't broadcast like me dancing and they just show like the credits. It's so good.
Dancing like a Muppet, man.
I do kind of dance like a Muppet.